Hi. So I had to redo my common application essay video because there's a new prompt for this year. I strongly suggest that before you watch this video, you go watch my top 10 mistakes students make on their college application essays video. It's really important because that really sets the groundwork for the Common App, and you'll understand a lot more if you go and watch that one. I know, I realize it's like a couple of more videos of me, which is, I'm sure, painful, but it's really, really important that you watch the other one first. It's on my channel, the top 10 mistakes. Now, if you want, after the Common App video, I also have a brand new video on brainstorming, and that's really relatively short, so I don't ramble on. All right, so let's jump into this. So all the Common App essay prompts have stayed the same with the exception of one, which of course we'll get to. So the first one, which is a background, identity, interest, anything with intrinsic value. And here's what I mean by that. If you think about what you do in high school, everything is for the result, right? You're doing it for the grade, you're doing it for the reward, you're doing it for the award, the trophy. Is there anything in your life you do just for the love of doing it? Maybe you do art, but you're not in AP art. Maybe you never even took an art class in school. You do it just for the love of doing it. Maybe you play a musical instrument, the guitar, piano, whatever, but you're not in a band. You're not in the orchestra. You do it just for the love of doing it. Even sports. You love, love, love basketball. You have a hoop in your driveway. Your friends play, pickup games at the park on Saturdays, but you're not on a team. If there's anything you do just for the love of doing it, and you're not looking for that extrinsic reward, it's intrinsic. This is just for you. That's a great essay. And here's why. If once you're in college, after the first year, nobody really talks about grades. Nobody cares about grades. Colleges want you to love what you're doing. And if at 17, 18 years old, you're showing them that you already do things just for the love of doing that could be a great essay. So this sort of essay, the loud annoying laugh, is really going to be a lot clearer to you when you watch the other video. I'm not getting paid, for you to watch the video, so it's not like I'm plugging a product. I'll do that later. Um, so here's a girl that all her life had this really loud, annoying, obnoxious laugh that people constantly made fun of. And, at one point in high school, she just sort of said, this is who I am. This is part of me. And she embraced it. And when she embraced it, when she became comfortable in her own skin, everybody around her saw that, and they, her friends and stuff, they became comfortable with themselves too, whatever their quirks were or whatever they had, that maybe, purple hair, whatever it is, where they finally just embraced it and said, this is who I am. That could be a great essay, central to your identity. All right. Do not write about having a competitive nature, love of learning, thirst for knowledge. Stay far away from those. And again, that will be really explained in the other video. Now, first generation American, years ago, that was something to write about. But thankfully, in 2021, it's really cliche, right? I mean, how many stories are there? My parents came to this country, they left everything behind, they built a life, blah, blah, blah. I mean, those are wonderful stories, but they're relatively cliche now. So you want to stay away from that kind of thing. All right. The failure essay, the obstacle essay, the setback essay should be really easy, and not because I'm hoping that you've had multiple failures and setbacks, but we've all had obstacles, we've had setbacks, that kind of stuff. And again, other video make this clear. But let's say you teach kids. It could be religion, it could be music, it could be swimming, it could be robotics, it could be anything. And prior to starting, you laid out your lesson plans. This is what you were going to do. You had it all worked out, and then you get there and you got these little rugrats bouncing all over the walls, and you now have this setback because it's like, oh my God, how am I going to reach these kids? So now it's regrouping. How am I going to connect with them? There you go. That's an essay. whether it's robotics or soccer. You know, you go to a tournament, you guys think you're going to win, you know you're going to win, and you get your heads handed to you. And of course, the bus ride home is going to be really quiet and everybody's going to be upset. But once the smoke clears, are these people like a second family to you? You know, you have incredible memories, funny stories about being with these people, and even though a trophy would have been nice, isn't that the stuff that's really, really important? You don't want to write about a torn ACL. You know, everybody tears their ACL. The chess team is tearing their ACL. That's a joke from my other video. Now, you can write about an academic setback or an obstacle, but you have to be careful. You don't want to write, I underestimated the class, so the first test I did really poorly, but then I studied harder and now I'm getting straight A's. Let's say you're the math kid and you've never needed extra help. In fact, you take pride in being the go-to person for other students to ask you questions, and now you're taking a level math that's kicking your butt. And for the first time ever, you're going to the extra help. For the first time ever, you kind of swallow your pride and you go over to that kid over there who is getting straight A's and going, can you help me? At nighttime, you're looking up YouTube tutorials. If you're going through hoops to get to the other side, that can be an essay. Now, here's another one with an academic feel. A lot of what students do in high school are out of expectation. You're not taking certain courses because you're dying to take them. You're taking them because you think a college wants you to take them, which is totally not true. They're not impressed by like AP everything. Actually, there's a quote from a New York Times article called Rethinking College Admissions, where a provost at UNC said, we're not impressed by AP everything. All right. So let's suppose you take AP physics, not because you have any dying, love of physics, but you're supposed to take it. It's an expectation. And it's really kicking your butt. And not only is it kicking your butt, it's so time, consuming that you're neglecting your other classes that you do like, and you're giving up social time because you got to study for that huge test that's coming up. Well, what's the lesson there? To follow what you love, not to do things that are expectations. And once again, when we look at what college is about, college wants you to follow your passions. They're not looking for you to do things because they think you're supposed, or you think they want you to do this. What are you passionate about? So if you've learned that lesson in high school, to follow what you love, not what an expectation is, that could be a strong essay. So this is definitely the hardest one, challenging or questioning an idea or belief. So in the state of New Jersey, they have all girls ice hockey teams. That's a no-brainer for a girl that's on that team, challenging gender roles. I once worked with a student who was a male cheerleader. Again, challenging gender roles. Maybe you're the type of student, you don't really have much of a social media presence. Maybe you hate texting. You'd rather talk to friends face to face. Maybe you prefer, books to ebooks, and, rather ride your bike to school and drive a car. If you're that person, that's certainly challenging beliefs and ideas about pretty much at this point every generation, but your generation specifically. Now, this question they're not persuasive writing topics. Do not pick hot button topics to write about. You can write about questioning authority, whether it's a police officer or the principal, your parent. Ooh, look, alliteration. But big but here. You have to be really careful. If you write an essay about a time that you questioned authority, you have to come across incredibly respectful in that essay. This too, yes, is covered in the other video. That's why I want you to also watch the other video first. But you have to be careful. One of the reasons, or the main reason you want to come across is really respectful. If you write an essay about questioning authority, you don't want to come across as, you're going to be that student on campus. If they stop serving sushi in the cafe, you're going to burn down the science building. All right, new for this year. Reflect on something that someone has done for you that has made you happy or thankful in a surprising way. How has this gratitude affected or motivated you? When I first read this, see, the problem is the people at the Common App don't call me for my opinion. They just don't. They should. Life would be so much easier. If world leaders would just call me for my advice, common sense, but I digress. Okay. I'm not saying this is a bad topic. I don't love it, but you have to be careful. If you choose to do this topic, do not end up writing that person's biography. You don't want to get a letter from a college that says, congratulations, grandma's been accepted, not you. Now, in analyzing this question, I can see where students would write about a relationship they have with a special needs person. However, I also am afraid that's going to become a very cliched topic, so I would stay far away from that. All right, here's what you can do, and these are the kinds of things that could make this a really good essay. If somebody in your life has gone above and beyond normal expectations, so let's say you're involved with something extracurricular that has nothing to do with your school. It could be a sport, it could be a performing arts thing, whatever it is, nothing to do with your school. Maybe it's 30 miles away from your town and you have this big, whatever, recital, game, performance, and you look there and there's your favorite teacher and his family who showed up to support you. That's going above and beyond. Maybe a friend, they took an incredible amount of time and put in a lot of thought into making you an incredibly amazing personalized birthday gift. That could be an essay. Anything where people have gone above and beyond what you would think is a normal expectation. Now, since this is brand new for 21, 22, I don't have any exact examples, but here's this essay could have been used for this prompt. So out in California, they have explorers, which means if there's something you're interested in, a group of explorers get to explore it. What a brilliant name. Anyway, this girl wanted to really learn about firefighting. So every Saturday, her and this other group were at a firehouse in Los Angeles. They rode with the firemen, they trained with the firemen, the firefighters. That's the politically correct term, firefighter. Sorry, I apologize. They trained with the firefighters, they rode with the firefighters, they stayed there. Now, when she first got there, she was really concerned. Not only was she a girl, well, she still is a girl, not that she was a girl, she is a girl, but she's also 4'11". And she was convinced that these, macho firefighter guys were all going to treat her differently. They didn't. They treated her just like one of them. They didn't treat her any differently. They were great. And because of that, in other words, they didn't put her on a pedestal and they didn't say, oh, let me help you with that. You can't do that. You're a little girl. No way. They treated her just like they treated the 6'1" tough guy. It raised tremendous confidence. Now that's going above and beyond normal expectations. That could have been a great essay if that existed for this one. All right. So number 5 is interesting. First of all, personal growth. The good news is, look, you're not the same person you are today that you were in 9th grade. We all have these little experiences as time moves on that adds to our personal growth. So you all have stories about personal growth. The other thing that I find really interesting, and again, the Common App people didn't call me, is number 2, the question on failure, setback, and number 5 are basically interchangeable. If you think about it, a lot of times a failure, a setback, or an obstacle will lead to your personal growth. So it really depends on how you want to frame this. Do you want to frame it as the obstacle, or do you want to frame it as your personal growth? It's as simple as that. So, you always equated academics with knowledge, right? So, if you get an A in physics, then you're good in physics. So now you want to become an EMT. And in the course, you're getting straight A's. You're getting 100s on every tests. You're doing great in all the practicals. Now, you graduate from the EMT course and you're thinking, oh my God, I'm a great EMT. And you join a volunteer ambulance corps, and then your first, major casualty thing happens and it's a big car accident and you freeze and you're a deer in headlights. And the personal growth moment, becomes realizing and understanding that the academic component of anything is just the foundation, that you really don't know nothing until you roll up your sleeves and do it. And again, let's think about what college is. College is about hands-on experiential learning. They want you to take classroom theory and go into a lab and make it happen. They want you to do internships. They want you to do co-ops. They want you to experience things. If you, as an 18-year-old, 17-year-old, are letting the college know that you already get that, you're ahead of the game. This, again, and you'll understand if you watch the top 10 mistakes video. So here's a student, he was brought up in a house where his parents said, your job is to be a student. That's your job. Be a student. And so he took being a student really seriously. And at the same time, he took himself really, really seriously. And everything was academics and I'm a student and all that kind of thing. And through this essay, these things that happened where he sort of came to the realization, the personal growth of, oh, I could take the work seriously, but I don't have to take myself so seriously. Great essay. Don't write about your driver's license. They don't want okay, so once I got my driver's license, I realized I'm responsible for the life and death of everybody out there. Yeah, you don't want to do that. And you don't want to write so I went away to soccer camp for a week and every day I got myself up and dressed and from the dorm to the field and back wow, mind blown. I'm like a grown up. Yeah, don't do that. Stay away from the personal growth of seize the moment, life's too short, carpe diem. It's, very, very cliche. All right. Now, a little caution on this one. So I like this essay, but you have to be careful. Keep in mind that the admissions person could have been an art history major or something equally as useless like my major, an English major. Do not get technical in your essay. I don't want to read this because I'll only embarrass myself. I have no idea what the hell they're talking about. Do not get technical. You also have to be careful. Don't write about what you're going to major in because then you're going to appear to be very one-dimensional. And again, I apologize for the 90th time for saying this, but that stuff is covered in the top 10 video. Okay. I saw somebody write, and he wasn't a math student, I think he was a biology student, but, wasn't a math student, but he wrote about fantasy football and he wrote about the statistical analysis and the wheeling and dealing and the shrewd trading and analyzing players and all of the stuff that actually goes into the game, the competition and how to outsmart somebody else and to look at the stats and all of that stuff. Great essay. All right. This last one, number 7, you got to be really, really, really careful on this one. The way I view this one is if you have something you really want to write about, but there's no real topic to cover it, it could be a really good essay. But please be careful. You don't want to write, how your life was like the phases of the moon, why these essays are actually meaningless, and I could prove I am God. Stay away from that kind of stuff. All right. So if you go to my website, there's other free stuff and information about all my other stuff, a lot of stuff. There's just stuff. Again, I really encourage you, if you haven't seen it, to really watch the top 10 mistakes and follow up with what I hope to be, because I haven't recorded it yet. I'm going to do it after this. My video on brainstorming. And the other video, the top 10, was shot a long time ago. So you're going to go, oh God, he got old fast. All right. So that's it. Very best of luck to all of you. There I am. I thought I was stopping the recording. Oh, I guess I didn't. I will now. Okay. Good luck.